Hello, friends. Today is the day we go, I'll give it just a minute to make sure everything is live, voice and video. I think I have a checker in her helping out today. So if you do not have with you a block, some sort of cushion, a pillow, thank you. And, or you could use a plastic food storage container with a lid that's around one of those sizes. That's important for today's practice. We're going to start, though, without those props. Excuse me. Finding a comfortable seat. You totally need your voice if you're going to record. My name is Karen, and I'm coming to you from Vermont. I'm going to drink a little more water. Salt and Sand Studios. It's a nice day here, a little humid. I've been thinking a bit about the power of yoga. Close your eyes. Let the spine grow long. The power of the physical practice when it challenges us. We find a posture that doesn't work for us, or a posture that's difficult to achieve, or we get frustrated with our stamina or our flexibility or our agility. And I was reminded this morning that this practice prepares us for the things that are even more challenging than getting into a crow pose or finding a revolved triangle. We won't do crow today, but we are doing revolved triangle. So I wanted to focus on the awkward poses. The official awkward pose is chair. It is translated Utkatasana as chair pose or awkward pose, but there are others. And for me, especially the revolved triangle and revolved pyramid. So that's what we're going to work on today. We're going to find our long spine. We're going to consider the power of yoga to how it can help us prepare for and be in the moments in life that are even more challenging than getting into a posture that doesn't quite suit our body in any given moment. Big breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Long breath in. Release it. And real audible. Loosen the thighs. Draw the pelvis forward and press the palms together at your heart. In doing so, see if you can drop the shoulders away from the ears and tuck the elbows in toward the ribs. Bring to mind an intention, a motivation, a dedication for the practice today. And we'll celebrate that as if we could surround ourselves, create a foundation using the sound of Om, sending out our intentions, motivations, and dedications. Breathe in fully. Move into a tabletop, coming to all fours, knees under the hips, wrists under the shoulders. You might notice today I am practicing again with sneakers on. I'm still working on my foot. It's better, but still strained in its sprain. The rain in Spain stays mainly on the plain. We're going to work into some cat-cow, starting to warm up the core of the body, pressing the floor away. Breathe out, round the spine, drop the head. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the tail, lift the gaze. Elbows are slightly soft. We work the navel in toward the spine, even as we drop the belly. It's slightly active. And today, for our awkward poses, part of what we'll work on is the extension of the spine and the hamstrings, as well as twists. So we're going to reach the right leg long behind with the ball of the foot still on the earth and find a little rocking motion forward and backward. Squeeze the glutes. Squeeze the quad a little bit. Open up the sole of the foot, the Achilles, the back of the heel, and the calf. And then we'll float the foot off the mat once the shoulders are over the wrists and reach the left arm in front. Just finding a little power. Square the hips. I'm going to take one knee to elbow. And if you're too wobbly, you can drop your hand and do this toward your nose. Pause. Inhale, extend the leg and arm. And we'll bring the knee back to the mat along with the hand. We'll take that to the other side. Left leg extends. Ball of the foot on the mat, a forward and backward motion as you activate the glutes, the quad, and the hamstrings. Fingers nice and wide. And when the shoulders come over the wrist, the leg floats up. We keep the hips really square. You got to use the belly to do that and the glutes. And then the right arm floats forward. Powering up. If you're like me, there are little crackles in your back or your hips. Knee to elbow or knee to nose. Pause for a moment. Inhale, extend. And the hand and the foot come to the mat. Fingers and hands and wrists move forward by just a couple of inches. We tuck the toes under and really slowly as we breathe out, press the floor away so the sitting bones come toward the heels and then all the way to your downward dog. Yay, I can do a down dog with sneakers on. Yay, foot. Pedal in and out of your dog as you press the chest toward the thighs. And my favorite out of the ordinary thing to do, well, maybe not my favorite, but one of them, is to lift to the tiptoes, press the chest toward the thighs, and walk the hands back toward the feet. The heels can draw down to the mat when it is the right time for you. And in your forward fold, keep your arms long, your knees bent, your head heavy. Let the fingertips sway along the mat, experiencing the sensation, the texture. No weight in them, but the head, super heavy. And then we'll clasp the hands behind the head, drop the elbows, and allow for length. Breathe. Press the floor away as if you're lifting the hips away from the earth. Then a ragdoll. Elbows bend, hands cup the elbows. Keeping the ragdoll shape and the forearms over the head, slowly unravel all the way to standing. Arms will lift up so the forearms are over the head. And if the lowest ribs on your rib cage just jut it out, you're going to tuck them toward your hips. Breathe and get tall on all sides of the body. Exhale, tilt over to the right. We open the heart. Draw the right elbow down. If you like an extra challenge, you can tuck the left ankle behind the right. Not something I'll do given a sprained foot. Lift up. Unravel. Exhale, tilt to the left. Inhale, lift up. Reach the arms toward the sky. Draw the arms into a cactus shape. Imagine you could get larger in the room. I watched Ted Lasso last night. Making yourself as big as possible. Make yourself as big as possible. Lift the shoulder blades away from the muscle underneath and then drop the hands behind you. Hands could stack. The fingers might intertwine, interlace, or maybe you hook the fingers of one hand into the fingers of another. The collarbones get nice and wide. Our first chair pose, Utkatasana. Keep your feet as they are. We're not going to stay here very long. The weight moves into the heels, the belly moves up toward the spine. Open up the heart, draw the knuckles down. When we get to the front of the mat, we'll do another chair and use our prop. Find your forward fold. Keep the hands bound if possible, and maybe with knees, the hands flow from the spine. Hands release to the earth, then they glide to the shins. As you press the shins away, a breath in or out for a half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Pause here, opening up the spine. There's collarbones, reach the sitting bones behind, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise to standing, arms lift high. And find your way back to a forward fold. We're opening up the spine and the hamstrings. As we discussed, important for our revolved postures today. Half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Forward fold. Inhale all the way to standing. Exhale, Samasthihi, hands to your heart. Hands drop by your sides. Tadasana, Tadasana, mountain pose. Now we open up the collarbones, gather the belly in, press the pelvis forward, lift the kneecaps a little bit. Inhale, lift the arms high, maybe the gaze lifts as well. Palms draw together overhead, extend the side bodies and bend the elbows so the fingers come to the nape of the neck or between the shoulder blades, opening up the shoulders even more. Lifting from the bony hips on the front of the body all the way to the lowest ribs. And then upward to the shoulders. Fingers can release toward the sky. Samasthihi, hands to your heart. I'm going to take a very slow meditative walk to the front of the mat where the toes land, then the ball of the foot, and then the heel. Take your time. Those of you not wearing sneakers, feeling the texture of the earth and the difference between the air on the foot and the foot on the mat. One more time, we'll salute the sun. Inhale, sweep the arms high. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, breath out or in. Exhale, forward fold. Rise up to standing. I said one more time, doesn't mean it was the last time. One more time in this moment. Exhale, hands to your heart. Find your block or your cushion. And keeping your feet roughly bony hips width distance. You're going to take your prop, place it between your thighs. Adjust your feet if need be. And then float the arms in front, palms face one another, or they could face down. Let's face them down. Lock the arms back into your shoulders and then sit into your chair. This is a beautiful way to start activating the muscles needed for chair pose. So we're not leaning forward in the balls of the feet. The weight is more toward the back of the feet, the heels, also known as your heels. And we're drawing upward from the bony hips to the rib cage, opening up the heart, but being kind to the spine by pressing the pelvis forward. The blocks help us activate the thighs and maintain the beauty of this chair. Let's take a little twist. Right arm behind, left arm in front, palms face forward. And the quads start to talk to you. Come forward with both arms and then swing the left arm behind. Both arms forward, lift up, keep the block between your legs. Exhale, fold over your legs, maintain the block. Halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, forward fold. Going to make our way into a Parsley Tanasana. So rise back up to standing, arms lift high. Exhale, hands to the heart, and then drop the hands to your hips. We'll step the left foot halfway back on the mat. So it's about a step to a step and a half. behind the right foot. And what tends to happen then is we shift all the weight into the left heel. The left foot is sort of a warrior one stance, so the toes point to the upper left corner of the mat. For some of us, squaring our hips in a warrior one or a Parsley Tanasana requires a little bit of a wider stance, which is true of me. So I'm moving my right foot out to the right, but it remains parallel to the outer edge of the mat. Hands come to the hips and we fold halfway down. We check in at the halfway mark for our long spine. And imagine we're drawing the right foot backward, the front foot a little backward to square the hips so that the right hip, the front of the right hip is facing down and the front of the left hip facing down with the back of that moving backward. I'm going to go ahead and use my block. I'm going to put it just inside my right toes and I'm going to fold farther down. My hamstrings are not that open yet. Yours might not be either. So drawing the belly in and up, lifting the hips, pressing the floor away, and dropping the head. Fingers point forward. And take your right hand onto the top of your block or your food container. Bend your right knee and step your left foot as far to the back of the mat as possible, bringing it parallel to the back edge of the mat. We're going to rise up to a warrior two and adjust as need be. I'm going to move my right foot in, a sweet bend in the front knee, and arms out in your warrior two. Flip your front palm, reverse this warrior. Feeling this opening all along the right side of the body. Return to warrior two, arms, then lengthen your front leg. Double check that the hips and the shoulders are stacked. We're going to work into triangle pose. We're not revolving these yet. We're simply practicing them before we move into the revolve shape. Reach the right arm as far forward as you can reach it, without sticking your bum out behind you. And then drop the right hand inside the right knee, the calf, or the ankle. You might use your prop. You might not. And the left arm floats high. If using your prop causes your bum to reach out behind you, maybe you're too low and you lift up using the belly. If the left shoulder is a little wonky like mine is, maybe the hand comes to your heart. We're using both legs equally. Belly is strong. Rise back up to warrior two. Bring your hands to your hips. Shift your prop out of the way. Pivot on your front foot so both sets of toes are facing the long edge of your mat. Toes in, heels out. Come halfway down like we did for Parsley Tanasana. You might stay here with hands on hips, or you could place your prop on the ground, or maybe you have enough space to fold all the way down to the earth. Once again, pressing the floor away, we're using all the edges of the feet, and the head is super heavy. Walk the hands toward the right foot, then pivot that right foot so the toes face forward. Drop your back knee to the earth. We're going to move into our knee down twist. So allow for some space front and back. Left hand stays down and the right arm floats high. Big toe out of the right foot pressing all the way into the earth. That right hip draws backward, left hip forward. Right hand plants half split. The left hip comes over the left knee. Maybe you scooch the right foot forward and the ball of the foot comes away from the mat. It feels good to, rather than bounce, to rock the ball of the foot onto the earth and then away from the earth. Shifting the hips forward as you do so, or not, whatever works for you. And aiming for a long spine, eventually the ball of the foot comes off the mat. Maybe the hands come a little closer to the hips as you reach the heart forward rather than worrying about dropping the head down toward the shin. The sole of the right foot plants on the mat, hard to do in sneakers. Back toes, left toes tucked under, and we lift the hips away from the mat, a sort of longish runner's lunge, and then extend the front leg, drawing the left heel toward the mat. It might not meet. Come back into this long runner's lunge, and then hike that left foot back up the mat. Take your block, and depending on how stretchy you are, the block will come inside the left foot or outside the right foot or outside the right foot. I'm bringing mine in. Left hand comes to that block. Both legs are straight, pressing energy into the heel of the front foot and the whole of the back foot. The right heel of the right hand comes to your low back, and we lift up for a halfway lift. This is beginning our revolved Parsley Tanasana, our revolved pyramid pose, and it might be that this is where you stay. Maybe you try the challenge of breathing in, long in the spine, and breathe out, twist as if the navel is orbiting the spine. For some of us, if we're stretchy enough in this moment, the right arm might float high, but we're really focusing on the shape and the feeling of the spine. On an exhale, right hand comes down to the block, and then step the left foot outside the block. Or prop, whatever prop you have. Feet should be about 2 fist width distance. We're going to take our prop, place it between the knees again, and come back into a chair pose, Utkatasana, the official awkward pose. We'll have the arms forward again, palms facing down. Lift up to stand and keep the block there. Exhale, fold over your legs. Find your halfway lift and your forward fold. Release your prop from between your thighs and step the right foot to the back of the mat. Not to the back of the mat, sorry, to the middle of the mat. You might use your block here for Parsley Tanasana, your choice. I'm placing mine at half height in front of my left foot. It's a little different from on the right. Nice long spine, as little weight as possible in your hands, and the head is heavy. Drag the left foot backward in space and place more energy into the whole of the back foot. Block now comes inside the left foot, and we step the back foot as far to the back of the mat as possible and parallel to it. We're rising up for our crescent warrior. Sorry, our warrior two. I'm getting all the names wrong today. Front palm flips, reverse the warrior. Maybe take the right hand, place it on the left rib so you can feel them opening up, spreading the ribs and lifting the heart toward the sky. Return to the warrior two shape. Extend your front knee. Triangle pose, left hand as far forward as you can until you can drop it. Maybe it comes to a block, maybe it does not. Shoulders and hips in the same plane as if they're living in the same apartment, not in different zip codes. We're going to spin onto the ball of the back foot and drop the right knee to the earth. You're facing forward. Back toes untucked, right hand down, left arm high for a twist. Next breath out, left hand drops, left leg shifts forward. Maybe your hands help out, or half split, Ardha Hanumanasana. A little shifting forward and backward as you press first the ball of the foot to the earth, then lift it away. Open up the collarbones, draw the belly in and up. And eventually the ball of the foot stays away from the mat. Hands might creep more toward your hips. We're aiming here for a nice long spine, getting a stretch all along this leg. But it is as if we're dragging that left heel backward to bring the hip back. We plant the sole of the left foot on the mat, tuck the back toes under for our long runner's lunge, so the front knee is bent. And extend the front leg, drawing the right heel toward the mat. Block or other prop might move into place inside or outside the left foot, and then we hike the right foot up. So it's about a step and a half behind the left in a warrior one shape, toes toward the upper right corner of the mat. You can then take the right hand onto your block, heel of the left hand onto your low back, straight legs as much as possible. Breathe in, lift for a half lift, as long and flat a back as possible. I have a micro bend in my left knee because it needs it. And now we're going to breathe in to extend the spine even more. Exhale, navel orbits the spine, a little twist. And if it feels okay for your body, the left arm might float to the sky, but I don't want to twist from the shoulder. I'm going to move to my fingertips on my block. In fact, I'm going to put my block at its tallest. On an exhale, a fold over the legs, the right foot steps up, outside your prop, and a forward fold. We're going to take chair once again, bringing our prop between our thighs, whether that's your pillow or cushion, your block, or something else, and sit back into chair pose, Utkatasana. And in preparation for our revolved triangles, we're going to do a twist. Hands to the heart, and we twist to the right. For you, that might mean the left elbow comes outside the right thigh. For me, due to SI joint issues, I'll remain relatively upright. You could also take east-west with the left arm forward and the right arm behind. On an inhale, we return to center, and an exhale, twist to the other side. Energy in the heels, belly drawing in and up. Return to center. Rise up to standing, removing your prop, bringing it to the left side of your mat. Arms float high. Exhale, hands to your heart. We shift weight into the right foot to shift the left knee upward. And step back. Maybe you're floating through an airplane bird or warrior 3 to get there. Returning to your warrior 2. Once again, we'll reverse the warrior 2. Reach up with your left fingertips to take hold of the right hand. Give it a tug so it extends the entire front side of the body, right side of the body. The right knee is unbent, and we move to warrior 2 arms. So now the shoulders are stacked nicely over the hips. And we draw the right hand down, forward and down. Left hand can come grab your block. And we draw the right hand down. Come to the ball of the left foot. And step back into a Parsley Tanasana. Left hand down, heel of the right hand to your hip, and revolve. Back foot steps up to meet the front of forward fold, half lift. Forward fold again. Rise up to standing. Hands to your heart. Energy into the left foot, right knee lifts up. And float that leg behind you, coming back to your warrior two on the other side. Arms float out. Back leg strong. Reverse. Right hand floats up. You don't have two right hands, I don't think. Takes a hold of the left wrist, a tug to extend the whole left side of the body. Warrior two arms. And triangle. Left arm as far forward as you can until it drops. Right arm floats high. Right hand drops to your prop. Both hands down, or heel of the left hand onto your sacrum and a twist. Draw onto the ball of the back foot. Shorten your stance. Revolved Parsley Tanasana once again. Both hands drop to the earth. Step the back foot up to meet the front. Find your halfway lift. And a forward fold. Now step back for a high plank. Pausing here for power. We'll work into some hip opening and some back bends. Maybe not in that order. Maybe in that order. Knees drop to the earth. Untuck your toes. Step the left foot outside the left hand. Point the left toes out to the left. You might need to extend your back leg a little bit so you're not on the kneecap. And here we'll move into a lizard twist. Press the left knee away, twisting over the left shoulder. And if you like a quad stretch, that right knee can bend. Maybe the left arm reaches around. You might be able to take a hold of the foot or your pant leg. And we move into lizard. The hands directly under the shoulders. And we bring the heel and toes so they're parallel on that front foot. And peel the foot open like a book. You could always use your prop, so handy, to bring your forearms to it as you shift the pelvis forward. Hands come to the mat. We return to a tabletop and take some hip circles. Reminding ourselves that whether the posture is easy or difficult, there's a little bit of challenge to the body, to the breath, and to the mind. Take that to the other side. in a way that prepares us for the bigger challenges of life. I'm pretty sure I would not have been as calm within the COVID realm, and will take the right foot outside the right hand if I did not have a yoga practice. Maybe again, extend the length front to back, point the right toes out to the right, and a twist over to the right as the right hand comes inside the right knee. If you like your quad stretch, take that here. And the back foot drops, right hand comes under the shoulder again. Shift to the front foot so the heel and toes are parallel. Peel it open like a book. Hands stay right under the shoulders with a little rounding between the shoulder blades, but the forearms can come to your prop or to the mat. We come back to the palms on the mat. Return to tabletop. Now we work into our back bending. Keeping the hips right over the knees, moving into my favorite back bend, which is Utkatasana, which didn't used to be my favorite back bend. So tuck your pelvis forward and then walk the hands forward until the forehead, chin, or chest comes to the mat. And if the body resists that, you can always place your prop under your chest or your head. Now, if your shoulders are kind of cranky, I have at least one, maybe two, definitely not three. You can bend the elbows outward. A beautiful place to return to your intention, motivation, or dedication. Imagining that all of the beauty from around you, whether that is outdoor beauty or indoor beauty, is kind of settling into the cup between your shoulder blades. And then it wraps around the heart, allowing the heart to be a little more vulnerable, to connect closer to the earth, even as your energy connects to all beings. Tuck the tailbone, draw the belly in a lot so you're lengthening the low back. Gently walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. And if you like hip circles or cat-cows or any other shape or movement that feels good here, see if you can resist moving directly into child's pose and rather work things out with movement. Because we're going to move into a twist in a moment. Drawing the shoulders right over the wrist, fingers nice and wide. Float the right arm high and thread the needle. The right hand comes behind the left wrist until you come onto the outer part of the right arm or the shoulder blade. You might sneak the left hand forward a little bit, but not all the way to the front of the mat. The head lifts a little bit to lengthen the neck, and then you press that right side of the head back down. Any variation you might like here, such as bringing the left palm to the right, or finding a half bind, or floating the left leg long and up. Left hand plants under your left shoulder. Unwind from this posture and return to tabletop, adjusting as you need. We'll take the twist to the other side. Left arm lifts. Thread the needle. Maybe move the right hand forward so you can get the left tricep or shoulder blade onto the earth. Lengthen the neck, drop the head, and take your variation if you took it on the other side. Right hand meets the mat under the shoulder. Press yourself away from the floor. Float the arm up, left arm, and plant the hand. Child's pose, your choice, Balasana 1 or 2. Balasana 1, the knees draw together. Balasana 2, the knees are wide. Wherever you are, the big toes touch. Balasana 1, the top of the head can come to the mat, and the hands, arms draw along by the sides. Come up to a seat, coming onto one hip, and swinging the legs around. Move into Janu Shirshasana with the left leg long in front. Sole the right foot inside your thigh or your calf if you can't sit up straight. If it's a challenge to sit up straight with the foot inside your thigh. Arms come forward and they lock back into the shoulders. We breathe in. As you exhale, a shift forward from the hips so the hands are not coming down or reaching forward of the mat, forward of the foot. And once you've reached your edge, take one more breath in and out. Shift forward, drop your hands to the earth or your leg. No need to come all the way down to the shin. As you know, if you've practiced with me, I'd love to talk about the fact that yoga is just yoga. It's not a competition, even with yourself. And there's no prize. Well, there is a prize. The prize is a body that feels better, a mind that maybe is calmer and less reactive, breath that helps you be so, and an attitude that supports working through challenges without becoming overwhelmed, even if they are not physical challenges. Lift up to your seat. Put the sole, let's just take that on the other side. Lengthen the right leg. And the sole of the left foot comes inside the right thigh or the calf. We sit up nice and tall. Float the arms in front. Lock them back to the shoulders. Breathe in. Exhale, shift forward. Keep the belly drawing in rather than aiming for the foot. See if you can aim for the front of the mat. Breathe in. Shift forward. Breathe in. Shift again, and maybe there's one final time before you drop your hands. Lift back up. Sole the right foot on the mat and sneak your left foot over to the right a little bit. We're going to stack logs here, or if you have a half lotus or a full lotus, you can take that. We haven't done a ton of hip opening. We're not moving into pigeon today. So we're going to take the right shin and stack it atop the left. You might have a lot of space between the right knee and the left foot. Maybe a prop helps here, especially if it's a cushion. A cork block isn't quite as comfortable, but we sit up nice and tall. Relax into the hip flexors. We're going to work our twist seated today instead of on our backs. I'm going to take the left hand outside the right thigh and the right hand behind. Sit up nice and tall. Breathe in. As you exhale, twist over to the right. Open the collarbones and the heart even as you rotate the navel around the spine. You might be already feeling pretty twisty from the earlier twists and the revolved postures. And see if you can, rather than having the right hand way behind you, bring it closer to the body. Return front and center. Remove your prop if you have one. Mine removed itself. Bring your hands behind you. Shift onto your sacrum and switch your legs. Right leg now comes underneath. Shin as parallel to the mat, front of the mat as possible. And the left foot comes above the right knee. I'm checking in and without judgment, noticing whether one side worked a little differently from the other. My left hip is less open. So my knee is closer to my armpit on this side. And for the twist, left hand behind your left glutes, right hand above your right knee, left knee, or outside the thigh. Breathe in tall. Exhale, twist. Makes you go, That's a nice, makes you go, Not a puzzled, makes you go, Return front and center. Remove whatever prop you might have. Hands behind you. Shift onto your sacrum and lengthen your legs onto the mat. Sit up super tall, long spine, strong belly. Lock the arms back into the shoulders as they float in front of you. Not the shoulders, the arms. And slowly, with a long straight back or curved, your choice, come all the way down to the mat. Once you're down there, a full body stretch, arms overhead, fingers reach, whole front, back, and sides of the body. Reach, 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 reach. And one at a time until they meet at your chest. You draw your knees in. Give them a big squeeze. Compress the belly with the thighs. And then your choice, legs up the wall, a happy baby. Maybe a rock left and right, or knee circles before we move into our final resting posture. Maybe even a flying Utkatasana, that's always fun. And then find your way into Shirshasana. Whatever that means for you. You could place something under your neck, under your knees, or keep the soles of the feet on the ground. The most traditional style is legs extended onto the mat, space between the feet splay outward. Backs of the arms on the mat, shoulder blades kissing the earth. The palms face up. There's also space between the arms and the side bodies. Let's take a big, big breath in through the nose. And out through the mouth. Here you remain. Effortless in breath, maybe scanning the body head to toe, allowing for relaxation for a moment, the integration of all of the aspects of your practice. Very gently, the body reawakens. Lots of deep breath, movement until you roll onto one side, knees hugged into the chest. A return to your intention, your motivation or dedication, or maybe you create one for when you walk off your mat. Press yourself to a seat. Bring the palms together at your heart as if they found their home there. The heart lifts toward the thumb knuckles draw toward the heart, elbows drop down. We'll close our practice as we begin with the sound of an Om, as if we could share the merits of this practice, all of the things that the body and the breath and the mind and the heart are learning, even if we don't know they are. We share those outward to all those in need. Big breath in. Thumb knuckles connect right at the center forehead. May the things that make you go, be things you stick with, explore and discover, and put them into action. We complete our practice. Namaste. As always, it's a gift to practice with you, whether live, in person, on YouTube, on Zoom, or recorded. My name is Karen, coming to you from Salt and Sand Studios. This is Yoga Intermissions. Try this at home. If you have opportunity and funding to donate, feel free to do so. There's a donate button on our website. And maybe one day I'll see you live and in person, and maybe not. I'm Karen. Have a great day. Thank you.